But at the end of the
Right.
day, we've talked about this. There's huge amounts of staffs coming on. The guy from ResCon, Richard Lyle, is telling us that there's people who are developers will be lost in this market.
We will
Companies
lose
will be lost.
we will lose some. That's for sure. Some
Okay.
will have been worth losing. This episode of the Under the Table podcast is brought to you by Shrubs.me, your all-in-one digital hub. Share files, links, videos, and more from one beautiful customizable page. Get your free account with 2.5 gigabytes of cloud storage today at Shrubs.me.
It's the Under the Table podcast,
It's the Under the Table podcast starring
formerly
TK.
known as the Canadian Real Estate Show, formerly known as the Toronto Real Estate Show, here on YouTube,
Formerly known as.
and all the other podcast platforms that you can think of. Oh my gosh, Daryl, what are we going to do with ourselves?
I wonder what it would be worth, like, to actually have somebody find the original version of this thing.
That would be something that it'll never be found.
Are we
And
certain that we're protected against that never resurfacing? Because
no, I
it,
am not certain of much these days, but I
it
am
would be,
certain that the real estate market's back, Daryl. Great, the best July we've had in 4 years, Daryl.
that
Daryl,
seems to be the
that
headlines.
that's listen, we got to pump this market up right now. The buyers are back, Daryl.
Listen,
The
that's it.
buyers are back.
But there is that narrative out there, and I actually have been under fire in the last week for saying, maybe this is the bottom, guys. The bottom doesn't just go, hey, everybody, guess what? It's the bottom right now. This is it. But there's
Daryl under fire.
there's things happening, TK, in the background by big players that are making me think that sentiment is starting to shift.
Sorry for interrupting the podcast, but actually about 50% of you watching this podcast right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you could just take a few seconds to do that, it helps us out a ton. And we thank you for your support. Now back to the guys.
Sure.
And I
Well,
could
look.
be wrong. They could be wrong. I mean, these are not guys like me, TK. These are serious guys. Okay, these are big fucking players.
Who have nothing to lose or anything to gain, of course.
Not that they have nothing to lose, but I mean,
Yeah.
if they do lose, I don't think it makes much of a difference unless, their whole thing falls apart like a deck of cards.
Listen,
But
nobody I know in,
these are not those
the world of
guys.
business is not okay with making a little bit more money. Okay.
A little
So,
bit.
yeah, bottom line is this. Listen, the July numbers show that we had a significant increase compared to last year's July sales. But last year's July sales were poor, and prices are down 5% year over year and 5% month over month.
And listings, how about those? Or
And
how are
listings are
those
way
doing?
up again,
Oh my goodness
right?
gracious! But it's great compared to the dredge
But
that
like that's
we've
what they
gone
hang on
through.
to. Like the real estate agent or brokerage or whatever it is, they have that narrative that they promote just to be able to get people to get a little bit excited over it.
Okay,
Our
but
sales on our team were up 73% year over year. Our July this year was 73% better than July last year,
well,
right?
my income on the first is 40,000 million% higher than the next day of every month.
Yeah. But we don't mention that last July was a tough year for all real estate, for all people, and that each year the summer always has sort of a little bit different tone. The reason this year's summer market was a little bit busier than normal is because there was a bunch of people on hold from the spring market who didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, like I got
Busier
to do
than
something.
normal?
July this year,
Bu-
yeah.
What's normal? The last 3 years?
No. What I'm saying is the July was busier than the rest of the months this year. Why
Ah,
why so much of the volume of transactions happened in July as opposed to being more evenly spread out from March to June? It was because of the election, the tariffs. We talked about this last show, and that
mm.
buyers were just on hold. They were uncertain, and next thing you know, that they're having to make a decision, and so they're buying. But I'm not seeing anybody come into the market going, "Wow, I think it's a great time to buy." Like the offers I'm getting right now, they're just getting worse and worse.
This is not the part of the market that matters right now. And of course, there's people getting decimated there, and there's still going to be people that are getting hurt there. And not that it doesn't matter, but people were not buying land. Okay. People froze up. People were not launching. People were like, this is the wrong time to buy this right now. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to be lower in 3 months. Squeeze them in 6 months. Squeeze them. It's right. And it like wasn't looking any better. Now the conversations are, hey, how's it going? Right. It used to be even just a few months ago. It was like, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, this is fucked. I can't do anything. I can't. Then last week, it's like, oh, I'm buying and closing on land, and people are closing their deals right now, and I'm moving forward. Right. And then another conversation with a guy who says, yeah, like, it was too good to pass up on. We had to move forward on it. I said, but hold on. I thought, land, even if it was free, doesn't work. And he said, no, I think, this one works. We're moving forward on it.
It's inpatient money.
Shrubs.me, your all-in-one digital hub. Share files, links, videos, and more from one beautiful customizable page. Get your free account with 2.5 gigabytes of cloud storage today at shrubs.me.
Look, there's a ton of investors,
money.
a ton of investors who are very savvy, who know what they're doing, multifamily, industrial, land development, stuff like that. They were looking at deals over the last 5 years and they were passing. There was a lot of people who were passing. The people who are buying, they got big operations. They need to have something in the pipeline. They need to have their planners working and their architects doing drawings, and they have.
Not these guys.
I'm saying, but they understand the risks. They know that,
Oh,
hey,
maybe,
if I
yeah.
can't build, then I will just hang on to the land for a long term. But at the end of the
Right.
day, we've talked about this. There's huge amounts of staffs coming on. The guy from ResCon, Richard Lyle, is telling us that there's people who are developers will be lost in this market.
We will
Companies
lose.
will be lost.
We will lose some. That's for sure. Some
Okay.
will have been worth losing.
But I
So,
think you're pumping the land market, Darryl. That's I think it's you had
why?
one good week of conversations and it's like you think that people are buying again, but it's
No,
not.
but listen, it's not just me. It's corroborated in, increased sales numbers. And not only just with like, the stuff that you're talking about, but big, big condos, luxury condos in Vancouver and Toronto still moving for ridiculous sums of money. Right. And so
Yeah.
these mixed with those same people, okay, because maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are the same people buying the land and the deals, right? They're building their own houses right now. They found a deal on a lot a year ago. Like this is the
They
kind of
overpaid a
stuff.
year ago.
Maybe, but like
They're
they
forced
don't
to
give a
build
fuck,
because
right?
they got the
Because
money to do it.
the
Yeah,
lot they wanted came up and right? They didn't give a
exactly.
shit.
So that's why the beginning of this year, Sotheby's put out that report where $10 million sales were up 200%. And if they go from 2 to 4, or they go from 2 to 6,
4 to 12, 4 to
4 to
12.
12,
That's
that,
big, big, big,
okay,
TK.
then you're talking about a huge increase in sales. But the bottom line is this.
What?
There's only going to be so many of those transactions that are happening. There's a finite amount of guys who've got the money to buy land. There's a
Mhm.
finite amount of 10 million plus buyers. There's a finite amount of luxury condo buyers. It's not
Mhm.
unlimited. And that there's always going to be enough supply that could come onto the market that still drives prices down. I'm not saying transactions don't happen. I'm not saying you can't sell. You can sell any property right now. No problem. But if you got 8 other properties just like yours for sale, you're going to sell it for less money than you could.
But
And isn't that what people talk about? Why are we
no.
talking so much about sales when you got that much inventory and that many things available? Those land prices that those guys bought at were dirt cheap.
Well, because you hear stuff also about guys who are putting like let's say not a REIT, maybe it's a REIT, some kind of LP to buy, all these condos sitting on the market at a fraction of the price that they were supposed to be. Kind of under the radar. You don't know it's happening, even though you hear it's happening, but you don't
Yep.
see those things
You
transact,
won't see it. Yeah.
right? And like people that shouldn't be thinking even about schemes in real estate, like guys who are removed from it.
Yeah.
Like people are talking, people are coming up with ideas, like things are brewing again, and it feels different. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a pumper with a perspective that needs
And
my
some units to sell.
right. And I just need it to be so true, TK. But no, I mean, the
Yeah.
reality is I don't make this shit up. I'm reacting to it, right? I don't like feed fake fucking news into the
I know, I know.
right. But
One good week can't like make a market. And so you had a
no,
good week.
no, but
You're
one good
excited.
week can indicate maybe a sentiment changes here, right?
Sure.
You definitely, like, with the amount of fucking shit that you work on in a day and a week and a month, like, you definitely can sense things in this market differently than other people, right? And
Sure.
although I'm not transacting, everybody and their mother wants to talk to me every fucking 5 minutes lately, but I get good insights from that and I hear what's going on out there. So I have a really unique perspective on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people tell me I can't fucking talk about it all the time, but I can
Yeah.
still add it into my
Every
thesis, right?
conversation starts with, okay, Daryl, what
Don't
I'm about to
fucking
tell
tell
you, you
anybody.
can't tell anybody. You're like, "Grr,
God damn
I
it.
got a podcast for, I
No,
need some content.
first it starts with, man, I fucking love the podcast. You guys are awesome. Then it's like something, I'm going to tell you something juicy, but you can't talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Shit.
What's the fucking point? Why am I here?
Yeah. I tell that anyways. Well, I just don't tell names or anything like that. We had this
That's
one
right.
client.
Me
So we
too.
listed their place for rent. We had, a tenant there that was there for a little while. Tenant left. New tenant gets brought in. First month that they're supposed to pay their rent,
Okay.
no rent came in.
Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Hold on.
Good credit,
They
decent
paid how many
income,
months? Like
civil
first month?
servant, first and last month's rent. When the second month, the first time that they're supposed to pay while they're already in the unit came up, they said, we want a $400 or $500 a month rent deduction,
Son of a bitch.
and then we'll pay the rent. Otherwise, take us to the board,
Take us to the
and
board.
we won't pay rent because
Wow.
we want to pay less money now because we're already in,
Yeah. What are you
right?
gonna do? What are you gonna
Well,
do?
you serve them an N4,
Oh.
you tell them that you're going to file an L1, you say you're going to have it, but they know it's going to be a year before they got to leave. They could
File
just
a L4 and an
an N4.
N1.
They could put that money into an account that would just sits there, and they just pay money into that account, and then when they show up to the hearing 9 months later, they can be like, okay, here's all your money, like, and then they stay. Like, it's just such a broken system, right? We got another lady right now where we've got, you
Hold
know,
on. Can we just discuss that a little bit for
sure,
a sec? Like,
sure.
why? Okay, let's really dig into this for a second, because why are they not protecting the landlord in these scenarios? Why is it so loosey goosey and so in the favor of the tenant in these
I, I,
scenarios?
I don't I don't believe it is in the favor of the tenant. So let me qualify that statement. I don't believe that it is the Residential Tenancies Act is written in a way that the tenants are going to win. It's just the system in order for the law to be enforced does favor the tenants because the tenant's situation is they don't have a mortgage to pay. The
How is
tenant's
this
situation
different than what we just said?
because
Okay,
because once you actually get in front of an adjudicator, if you don't pay your rent, you got to leave. Once you
right.
actually like so all those rules that are there, when you actually read them, you're gonna go, oh, this is fair for the landlords if you don't pay, if they
Oh,
have
I see.
damages. Like, it all makes sense that the landlord does have some rights and some protections. It's just when you actually have to go through the process of enforcing your own rights and to be able to collect money from the tenant and all that kind of stuff, the system is broken in a sense of the landlord is going to end up taking the bigger loss, whether
Okay,
it be
but
emotional or financial or anything
clearly,
else.
clearly, there's ways to remedy this quickly, because it's really dumb that it takes so long to get in front of. Is it even really a judge? Like, is it a judge?
No, you could apply. You could
Isn't it
apply.
like
Imagine Daryl
Henry? It's like
as the
Henry,
adjudicator at the
right? Or
landlord-tenant
me.
board. Yeah.
Like, right? Imagine.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you get me? I mean, what's the difference
Yeah.
between me and who the fuck you get, anyways, right?
Right?
If anything, if you get me, the
Yeah.
landlord's going to get a little sympathy and it'll be
No,
funny.
sometimes you'd be like,
Okay, let's do it. Let's
hold
go.
on, dummy. Hold on.
Ready?
All right.
Exactly. Here,
All
let's
right.
go. Let's
Who am I, the
practice.
landlord or
Okay?
the tenant?
No, you're the tenant, man,
I'm
and
the tenant.
I'm the judge.
And you're
Okay.
the judge. Okay, listen, judge. All right, I got 4 kids. I've been living in this home for 13 years. All right, paying $900 a month. The landlord never raised it one time because he felt bad for me. And now he wants to sell the house. Where am I going to live? Where am I going to go? I can't get $900 a month. I got 4 kids. Look at those kids. Look at them over there.
Yeah, those are some pretty cute kids. How come they have a different complexion than yours, sir? Anyways, that's a different story. Listen, it's none of your fucking business, bro. They want you out. it's very cut and dry. There's a lot of other places you can go for your $900. And
Like
quite
where?
honestly,
Like where?
listen, if you got 4 kids and rent for $900, you're fucked at some point anyways. It may as well be now, okay?
But my kids are gonna starve. We're
Your
gonna be
kids are gonna
homeless.
hello, go look in the mirror. Your kids are gonna starve and be homeless one way or another. This is just a little stopgap that the system's
How,
allowing.
the system's
They're
against
gonna
me then.
allow it.
I'm not. I'm
It's
not
enough.
moving out. You guys
It's
are gonna have
enough.
to come and get me.
Listen, bailiff, you can just stand a little closer to Mr. Butler right now. Just get a little closer to him. Thank you. Thank you. Mr.
You're a
Butler.
racist.
Listen to me, you piece of shit. Okay? You, sir, deserve nothing. Okay, but TK, it would be a great show.
That's never happened.
No, this should happen though.
That's
From
never
time to
happened.
time.
Yeah.
All the time, because I'm sure some people have the best reason ever to not pay the rent in month number 2 and to
Yeah.
put a gun to the landlord's head. I mean, this seems reasonable
And
on
good
so
credit,
many.
good like like landlord references and everything else. So then like everyone's leasing out properties around me, so they're all calling me for advice and asking me what would I do and all that. And because listings, some of them aren't selling, the sellers are unrealistic. So another one was sellers are selling a new build. Lawyers make an application right away. We want the place. High luxury home, like we want the place. Willing to pay the bills, no problem. But two
What?
lawyers,
What?
the other tenant applicants, crypto kings, 22-year-olds,
This is for what? What are we
paying
talking
500 a luxury property, $500 over asking, cash
To
up front,
rent?
1 year in advance.
to rent a luxury property?
Yeah,
What's the overall monthly rent?
5,500.
5,500. Oh, where?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound so luxurious. Where the hell's
New
that?
build in
New
Whitby.
build.
It's
a
as good
house?
as it gets.
a
Yeah,
house?
detached new build.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
pool, 3,600
Yeah.
square feet, brand
For
new modern
Whitby.
house.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine spending $5,500 a month in Whitby? God
Well,
damn
anyways,
it.
there's a lineup of people to get this place. Okay, so
A
it was
lineup?
5,000. They paid 500. The crypto boys are the
Yeah.
ones who got it.
Oh, did they
The la-
use crypto? Are they allowed to use crypto to pay the rent?
You know what? That's yet to be negotiated.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it? Can
We'll
it be?
see. We'll
Let's
see.
Would you
But
do that?
again, I don't want to say, but at the end of the day, the landlord picked, because I don't want to discriminate against anybody here. So I got to watch what I say on my
Hold on. You
the
had
show.
the listing? You had the listing?
No.
Oh.
But a partner of mine did. And bottom line is the other guys were willing to pay more, and the landlord felt comfortable with them and chose them.
Sure.
Nothing against the other guys. But this is the type of situations that are out there,
Yeah. Well, if it's the
the one
crypto
I'm working
boys-
on, the one I'm working on, sorry to interrupt again, Joe. The one I'm working on is the one that I'm trying to sell, where the lady's in the basement and she's not moving out, and she wants a big cash settlement for an N11 to be signed. And so I'm trying, and the landlord's like, I'm not paying her anything. I'm like, you're not paying her. It's the buyers. The
Yeah.
buyers are paying her. They're going to pay you more money for the house because they want vacant possession. If they got to keep her, they're going to pay you a lot less.
Is it
So
wo-
they're paying.
is
You're
it
just
worth it?
facilitating it. You got no choice.
No choice.
She's not paying the rent. She's messy. The place is messy. It's a sad situation when you got kids in a situation like that. It's tough.
TK, why do people have to deal with this bitch? Honestly. Why
What do you
could
do?
she-
What's the solution?
I don't know. It sounds like you could probably hire Frankie to just pick her up and put her outside
Listen,
on the
if
front lawn.
anybody wants a very high paying job
I
in
know
Ontario,
a guy.
this is what you become the guy.
He
You
wa-
talk to all the landlords and you say, when you got problems with tenants, don't call a paralegal. Don't just call me and I'll get them out in 72 hours.
Can I tell you honestly, TK? And you know
Yeah.
this is true. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know about this story, but like that guy that we're describing, he
Yeah.
called. He's a fan of the show. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There, one of them, there's a guy who's a fan of the show that is
Yeah.
the muscle guy for, getting
Landlords.
things done. Well, whatever it is, it's whatever you need to get him to get done. And, I didn't know that's what he was when I was meeting him. He just wanted to meet, go for a coffee.
Sure.
It turns out I did or could have used his services, and I tested him out for a test drive, and he was quite efficient, I must say, TK.
Okay.
He's good at his job, and that's
Yeah.
kind of scary.
So, anyways, long story short is that those type of jobs right now would be very lucrative. Very, very, very lucrative for landlords that are out there.
You can
'Cause what do
send
you
a humanoid robot after people. That'd be
Think
pretty
about it. What do they do?
scary.
They call the cops. They say someone came and threatened me. My landlord had someone come and threaten me. The landlord says, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. really, somebody came by and broke your kneecaps? That's what happened to your
Just because
kneecaps,
of some rent, it's okay. You don't have to pay me. You can stay as long as you want.
right? Really, that's why
Frankie
your
knows where you
kneecaps?
live.
That's right. Frankie will get
Oh my
people out.
God.
There's
Yeah.
ways to get rid of people, but I mean, how much do you actually have to pay to get rid of some old lady living in the basement? I guess a lot of fucking money if you're trying to sell the house. God
Are you
damn
talking
it.
about like a cash for keys situation?
Well, I mean, what are your options? I mean,
Listen, I
certainly
don't want to
if
give any tenants any ideas on how much they could get, but let's just say that the 1 month's rent for the N12 isn't enough.
is not enough. One
No, it's
month
not
rent.
enough.
Jesus Christ. I'm
You got to try
glad.
to.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that shit. I know people are dealing with that all the time and on mass too. Like some of these guys who have to do rental replacement on buildings where I got lucky. No one
Yeah,
lived in mine, right? So they were a little more lenient. But when you have a building with, I don't know, 50 people in it already, right? And you got
yeah,
to move them out or move them back in or pay
yeah.
them the fuck off. And like, can you imagine? A
I remember what the deal I asked you about this week, that big number I was messaging you about. I can't really say too much, but bottom line is that's 900 units
Oh yeah.
and it's like a development play. I'm like,
That is wow. That's a
well,
big development
at
play.
that price it is.
Right. It has
At
to
that
be.
price it better
Yeah.
be. But listen, that's like imagine a rental
Have you
replacement on
have
that.
you heard of Toronto 2, by the way? Have you heard? We're going to build Toronto 2 there. It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
2.0. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2.0.
Think about it. Think about rental replacement on 900 units.
Oh God. Like
So
that's
that's what
how
the new rent eviction license is all about with the city of Toronto. You know
oh
that, right?
yeah, I saw that. That's
So
fucking cool. Is it?
yeah, no, it's stupid. So
Is it
basically,
stupid?
the city is not relying on the province and the board, the landlord-tenant board, in order to be able to have these rent evictions, the N13s, be used in a way to be able to get tenants to leave. Because what's happening is the
Yeah.
landlords are saying, because they got like, they have 60 days to be able to get the tenant once the unit's back in. They say, hey, you got 60 days to move in at the same rent you were before. But they're like, we sent them the letter, we called the number, we emailed them, we like, well,
Yeah.
it took us 3 years to do the project. We
Yeah.
thought it was only going to take 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
they found a
my
new place already. They died.
and
Sorry,
my
didn't know.
daughter, she has to move in next week, right?
No,
My
they can't do that
kids.
at that point. But it's the N13, so they're renoviction, right? So
Isn't
they're
that
doing the
part of it? Isn't that
no, that's
part
the
of it?
N12. That's the N12.
When your family's moving in?
That's an N12. Different
Oh,
different story. But this
I
is when
see.
they're doing the renovation part. And
Mhm,
so the
mhm.
city is, and obviously Olivia Chow, who's like, the leader of the tenant revolution here. Like, I don't know where, I don't
And
know what the city's
perfectly
gonna look like.
normal, right? Like
Yeah, I
she's
don't know what the city's
normal.
gonna look like with all these like affordable units and people who, anyways, we don't
All
want
of
to get
them, all
we don't want
eight.
right.
Oh, it's gonna really change the fabric of Toronto. All eight of those. Okay.
Listen, bottom line is,
Yeah.
Toronto's expensive to live in, and it's just the way it goes. You can't protect every single person out there. There are going to be people who can't afford to live in Toronto. It's just a reality of a city that's grown as much as it is. But anyways, that's an unpopular opinion. So for the license part of it, it would be someone needs to go and apply for a license. So now the city is going to have their hands in it, right? So their city is going to be able to say, hey, show us your documentation, show us your plan, show us how long it's going to be, show us the open line of communication between the tenants so then that we know that you've given them a chance to move back in. Who's going to, like, why would I do that now? Like,
Yeah.
why would I rent it? The whole point is I'm renovating it to be able to get more rent.
Yeah.
The whole point of me renovating it is so that I can get that tenant
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah. You're
I
gonna
don't really just want to
wanna
make it safer. I'm going to leave it as dangerous as possible until they leave.
you're gonna wanna look at a place at Midland and Lawrence, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would go look over there. Listen, you can get guys to move out.
Was
You
was that
gotta
a
just
was that like a role? Were you playing like were you saying like they should move there?
well, I would suggest it so that you didn't, you know, you know,
So you
not
got a place to live?
move it. Well, yeah, just
Is
in
that where Frankie
case.
lives?
Frankie has ways of getting you to move out.
Yeah.
He can get rid of trees too, TK.
I got a guy who gets rid of
I got
trees
a
too.
guy who gets rid of trees.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but seriously, I don't know why we're talking about this because I mean, we do have apparently like we're overbuilding rentals now. So not only do we have like this backlog of problems, but now
Yeah.
we're going to have we're going to have units available everywhere. It sounds like if you listen to the same people who are pumping the best in 4 years bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't get it. And nobody can actually answer this. Is like, do we have a shortage? Do we have an overage? Are we in crisis mode?
I'm on the we don't have
I'm kind
housing
of
supply issue,
right. It's like,
right? Like I'm on that side right now. I'm like we got enough places for people to live. We just had a high amount of like temporary, like non-permanent residents just kind of like floating around the city, and they were all like, "Yeah, this Toronto place is really cool. It's really expensive. I can't get a job. I'm driving Uber," and they were not here for very long. And now the government's cracked down. Everybody I know, so I talked to a lot of people about two things. One is a visitor visa, and the other one is like the fake marriage stuff. Okay, so the visitor visa, it used to be like you got like a 10-year visa, but now a lot of people are coming in and it's like 6 months. So you're here and you got to go,
you could
right? So
get
you
a
got
10-year visitor visa
before it was a
before.
10-year visitor visa.
What is
So
that?
people could come and go and they had a visa so that they could just
Okay.
be able to, float around the country and visit it. And everyone's like, yeah, it's Canada. Welcome. Yeah, maybe you should stay a little bit longer. If you really
Yeah.
like it here, go get somebody pregnant and, get a job,
Yeah.
right?
Carry another duffel bag of cash over the border.
Yeah. And then the other one was the fake marriages. And so the fake marriages, it
Mm.
used to be you could pay somebody, like they're pretty expensive. Again, if you're a single guy in your 20s and you're looking to make some money because like you owe Frankie money or something like that, there's people out there, if you just marry them, you'll get paid a pretty good sum of money, I don't know, 50, 100 grand, something like that,
You
depending on
could
who it is and
you could
who
do
you
that
are. But
once, and you could Frankie.
yeah.
Get,
Whoa.
get him off your back.
But anyways, long story short, what I'm trying to say is
Yeah,
that
sorry.
process is taking years now for those things to get through. I mean, the government cracks down on that. So like
Oh.
the immigration, and that's an immigration play. Like at the end of the day, that is a housing play. Like I know it sounds like, what are you talking about, TK? No, it's these people want to stay here in the country. They're getting forced back to go home, and they're finding ways in order to be able to stay to try to get permanent residency. And even that process now is backlogged for people to be able to get through. And so the immigration flow and our net immigration, that's going to be tallied over the next 10 years compared to the last 10 years is going to be way down, no matter which way we look at it. And so that demand factor that we thought we had, because every one of these investors who could rent out their units afterwards based on a booming rental market are not going to have that same level of success. And we're going to see more and more rentals come on the market, and there's going to be less and less demand for the average stock.
You think there's going to be less immigration over the next 10 years than the
Yeah.
last 10 years?
Yeah.
How is that even
They're shutting off
math?
the taps. They're shutting
Are
off the
they?
taps. Yeah, and they're trying to slow down certain programs. They're getting smart on certain programs.
Have
They were
you
doing
a-
a lot of messy immigration, Daryl. This wasn't like healthy
have you
immigration. I'm not talking about like one country versus the next.
No, but have you been to like a free beach anywhere within 3 hours of Toronto?
Daryl, those are the people who are already here.
But they're coming
How did
and
they get here?
but they keep coming. It doesn't seem
No,
like no,
no.
they're not.
Immigration numbers are coming down. They're starting to increase things like skilled trades
No,
and
but they're
things like
coming
that. They're
down from the 1.2. They're not they're still above the normal that was before COVID of like 250 or
And
whatever,
you're going to see that
350.
number come down because we had those elevated numbers over the last 5 years. So I'm talking about the last 10 years versus the next 10 years. The rate of
I don't
population
know.
growth is going to slow down. Plus, we got how many
How do you
people? We
get
got
to the Century Club?
130,000 people leaving. That's not happening anytime soon. We had 130,000 Canadians leave the country this year, Daryl. People aren't happy here. People aren't
No.
happy here.
No, most people are
So
not.
forget about the policy. Forget about what the government's willing to do. Who wants
Hmm.
to live in Canada right now?
Not too many people, but it seems like plenty of people. But it
But
seems
who
like if you look
more
around,
or less than
TK,
before?
but I don't know. Listen, you look around right now, forget
Yeah.
about it. It's, I don't know how this is going to come across, but we are
Okay.
not the majority anymore, TK. There is a very different feel to Canada right now. And it's like, holy shit, when did this happen? I I'm walking around everywhere feeling like, holy shit, I need to learn a new language
You
because
should. Yeah,
I,
it's healthy. It's good for the
well,
brain.
but which fucking one now? I don't know
You can
what
learn
the hell.
multiple languages at the same time.
I'm in Collingwood, right? And we
Yeah.
stopped there for 8 minutes to use the bathroom. And it's like, holy cow. I thought we were multicultural before, man, but we are beyond melting pot. It's like
Okay.
absolutely crazy. But it's not because
Why would they
it's
want to stay here though, Daryl? So,
because
okay,
it's
people are here already, but tell me,
they're
what is the incentive
stuck.
for them to stay?
They're fucking stuck like
Are
the
they
rest of
stuck?
us.
Because back home, their
Is it
lives
better?
were better. And in a lot of cases, I'm not talking
We're
about
better.
refugees and all
We're
that kind of
better.
stuff. We're better.
It's better here or it was better
It
back
was better
home?
back there.
What the fuck are they doing? They're stuck.
Because they have a dream. When they came here, they thought this is where you're going to make it big and you're going to make all this money and you're going to have all this money left over because they hear about the wages and they're like, whoa. But then they come here and they see the cost of living and
They
they
didn't
go,
hold on. They didn't
wait a
know it was
second.
better over there. Like they realized it after
They
because
realize it afterwards, of course.
so they're stuck
And so
still.
how many of them go back?
How many of them can afford to go back?
They can't afford to go back. If you drive enough, oh, I keep saying Uber. That's
Uber, you're so
okay.
racist.
I'm
I
so
can't even
racist.
believe how racist you are.
If you work enough hours at your job, you'll be able to afford a plane ticket to go back, Daryl. I promise.
If
Okay.
you work enough hours at your
At Tim
job,
Hortons for long enough,
right?
you'll
Steal
go
enough
back.
cars.
But the bottom line is this: why stay in Canada, Daryl? And
Why?
As a Canadian right now, okay, I'm gonna give you an online business. I don't need you to stay here in Canada. My mic screwed up. I don't need you to stay in
No, you're good.
Canada and
No, you're
to
fucked
stay
up.
in Canada at all. Okay, I'm giving you an online business right now where you can do from home every single day. Um, Wherever you want in the world. Are you a real estate agent and you're looking to make a change anywhere in Ontario? Guess what? We're hiring. Frankly and Associates, #1 team in the GTA for all Remax teams, #1 team for all teams from all companies for number of units sold throughout Toronto. So if you're looking to make a change, best decision I ever made was to join Frankly and Associates. Go to jointeamleo.com and we can set up a call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you living?
Where am I living?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. My wife will kill me, but it's not here. She
It's not
keeps
in
telling me, she
Canada.
goes, stop telling everybody where you're going to go. People are going to come. And next thing you know, we need to escape there,
Yeah.
which is
So
very smart.
everybody in like
Very smart, by the
ask
way.
us 5, 10 years ago that same question.
Oh my God. Where would I be fucking happy staying here 10
I'd be
years?
staying here.
I wouldn't want to move. I
We'd
would
say,
just
what a
want a
great, wow,
place.
online
Yeah.
business. That's amazing. Work from home. This is where I'd go.
Yeah.
I'd vacation here. I'd do all that kind of stuff. And now we're talking about leaving the country. The people who
Everybody.
are staying are trapped.
When I was at that day drinking party last week with these guys, one of
Okay.
the
Day
questions
drinking.
day drinking party, yeah, these
Yeah.
guys are a hoot. They got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Uh, platinum agents and marketing companies and the
Yeah.
such.
Yeah.
But like they wanted to know from me, shit. Now I guess the day drinking caught up to me. I forget what I was going to say. Okay.
Moving out of the country.
Yeah, they
And it,
wanted to know, like, have you ever considered moving out of the country? And
yeah.
then this question comes up regularly now because I think, you know, people, it's on a lot of people's minds that themselves, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like a lot of successful people are thinking that this is no longer the place that they want to play in anymore. You know, it's like it's not fun anymore, and it's like it's way harder than it needs to be because if you know anything about development around the world, I mean, Toronto is known as not one of like the hardest fucking place to get a development approved on earth. Okay.
Mhm.
Like you could get the Burj Khalifa approved and built before the Four Seasons. Okay. Like why? Right.
Mhm.
One Bloor. Like how long did that fucking thing take? Okay.
It's
It's
still going.
right. It's like
No.
I've been in this business for a long time and I don't even know how many of the deals I worked on have completed yet, if any of them, right?
Yeah.
Since I started working in land, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like these things take fucking forever. It's insane.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, the hell, who wants to play here? Right. But now you have this is actually a pretty interesting topic. You have
Because the other stuff we were talking about was
No, because you brought it up. So how could
Okay.
it
How
possibly
good
be
could it be? How
intriguing,
good could
right?
it be? Yeah.
You had this whole rush of people that went out to Alberta, right? And you must have heard people going like, just buy a purpose-built rental in Alberta, buy it, you like double the rent, and like it's a home run, right? No
Boom.
problem, right? And
Moneymaker.
I'm walking down the
Because the
street.
current landlord didn't try that.
I'm walking down the street to Toronto with this guy. He just takes me for lunch, another day drinking party, TK. And we're
Yeah.
walking. He's got his arm around me and he's telling me about this scheme out in Alberta where it's like,
Yeah.
they're financing so many of these things, one after the
Yeah.
other. And he's like, it's so great. The rents, it's like, there's no rent control. So you just buy the building, double the rent. And it's like,
And everyone's just like, hey, man, listen, I'll
can I
pay
have
that.
another? Right? Do you have two? Like, I don't
Yeah.
even need a second place to
Where else am
rent,
I going
but
to go?
right?
Yeah.
I'll just rent two from you because
I'll
I'm
just,
fucking retarded. Oh my
I'd like to
God.
stay in my unit and pay double, please.
Yeah, but
That would be convenient.
if you look at a chart of like
Yeah.
the purpose-built rentals that were like proposed or applications or under construction versus now,
Yeah.
it's like
It's off
crazy
the charts.
off the charts, like
Off the charts.
Bitcoin, Bop,
Yeah.
right? Bopcoin, Bitcoin, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that shit is. Right after, like when I don't own it, that's what Bitcoin does, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is crazy, like crazy. So what's going to be over there, right? Now they're going to have a
So hold on. What's
rental
the end of the story
crash.
here? Like, so there is money that's being made over there in Alberta.
No, it's like the next thing to look out for
That's the
because
next bubble.
it's the next
It's the
goddamn
next
what
bubble.
the
All the
fuck were
Ontario
these?
people going out to Alberta buying houses. That's the most obvious bubble of bubbles,
Oh God.
right?
But like when does that whole thing explode? Because actually,
Yeah.
if you look at the numbers across the nation, like
Yeah.
most places are doing good now. They're doing better. They're
Sure.
like right, they're in the
Toronto and
positive.
Vancouver is the places that were in the biggest bubbles.
They were the most fucked. And
Yeah.
so right, so now it's like, okay, where are we in this thing? I put up last week the title of the episode was like, is this the
Is this the
bottom?
bottom?
And
They hated
everybody
it.
went fucking
They
bananas,
hated
right?
it, Daryl.
But
How dare you?
and this is how we open the show, and I think it's worth like digging deeper. It's like, where are we in this thing? Because let's
Not
not
at the
forget,
bottom.
not at the bottom.
Not
No,
at the
but
bottom.
how far are we from the bottom? Because don't you feel the vultures are now out of the shadows and they're like really like, hey, like I'm
Yeah.
looking now, like I'm ready.
I think that that's normal when the market starts to fall, then people are going to try to time the bottom. So you're going to have people who are going to be trying to buy properties at the right prices. Like I said,
Yeah.
inventory increased in July because people were waiting, and then they were like, okay, it's gone down enough, and it's just impatient money, and they were getting discounts, and so like a couple properties I sold in July were like way lower than what we thought they were going to sell for, and way lower than what they would have sold for last year or 2 years ago, so forth. And so it was enough of a deal for somebody. I was working on that really big one where we got a great offer that didn't go through, unfortunately. And this person, turned down, an eight-figure offer. And
Well, it was 60% of the price they were looking for.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But it was an
Not that
eight-figure.
one.
I don't know which one you're talking about, but it was an eight-figure number. It was a good number, and I guess they felt like that was a good deal. And then once they kind of smelled around, like, hey, maybe that was actually a price that the seller might be willing to take, which at the time they weren't, but eventually the sellers are kind of saying, hey, maybe that's something we could talk about.
But that's what's happening. That's what I'm
That
saying.
now all of a sudden they're like, you know what, maybe we're not that interested. So it's the vultures when they come out and there's
A
enough
few
of
of
a
them.
deal that they're out there. They're kind of like, hey, if I feel like I'm getting a deal in this market, then I'll buy, just like those land deals. But that doesn't mean that a year from now, that price on that land is not going to go down even further. It's just
Oh,
that they felt at this point in time it was enough of a discount in order for them to buy. The
right.
condo that I bought it at enough of a discount at the time for me to justify buying it.
Well,
I
and
could have bought it for
maybe
cheaper right now than I did when I bought it. Not the same condo, but another one. I could have got maybe like something that was renovated or something different, slightly cheaper, just because the
well,
market's come down.
and if you factor in maybe it coming down a little further, like some of the stuff I'm talking about, these guys got like, 50 cents on the dollar,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And they were looking at it when it was full pop and they just kind of have ridden the wave down to the point where,
Yeah.
the landowner or the property owner is like, okay, like I can't like It's time. I can't do
What do
this
you guys
anymore.
have money? You will pay me money. I will
Right?
accept your money.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Like,
much. Yeah.
are you guys still
Let's
interested in buying this
let
from
let's
me?
let's talk about that. So this is the phenomenon. There's like a channel called the Broke Agent. It's an Instagram account, and it was like dealing with boomers in 2025. And there's like this old lady. She looks like she's like 90, and it's not a boomer, but whatever. She's an old lady, and she's like, "I want $4 million for my house." And the guy's like, "But the comps on your street are $200,000. I don't care. I'm not gonna sell unless I get my price." And that's what we're dealing with right now. I got a guy who called me in the other day. He's an agent, so he calls me into his partner's property. They got the house listed for big money, way more money than they need to. So I kind of smell out what the situation is they're just calling me in to get the price. He's calling me in to tell his partner that they're way out to lunch and that it's not just him, and that it's like they need a major price adjustment. And so I'm going over this and I'm like, okay, this is the cost of the land in the area. This is like the absolute max somebody would spend on building your house. And I was overestimating everything you possibly could. I'm like, that price is still less than what you're asking on a resale. Like someone could build a brand new house on this lot for
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that somebody's gonna pay you. This math ain't mathin',
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're not selling that. There's no way we're selling. We
Yeah.
unless we get our number, we're not selling. I'm like, well then you're not moving.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't know
you
what to
can
tell you.
move, but you're not
You're not
selling.
you're not selling, you're not moving, you're not going anywhere. Enjoy living in this house. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
Why don't they
There's a
just
lot of those conversations right now I'm having on all the high. I'm going to one right now after the podcast.
but that's crazy. I mean, imagine look at how much inventory is coming on. If people are being dissuaded and turned down and talked out of it, like
Yeah.
how many people are actually out there thinking or wanting to sell? How many people are sitting there going, "Fuck, man, I don't want to put my house up in this fucking mess right now, but like,
Yeah.
fuck, I gotta sell this thing." Like,
Yeah.
right? I can't wait any longer, right?
Yeah. Those people will sell. Those
Dude,
people will sell.
fuck.
They'll eventually have an agent who will just keep dropping the price until they get it sold.
Or somebody on the
Um,
street will fuck them up.
but
Like I
the
got
but the
another bastard on my street again. For fuck's sakes, they listed it, and I'm like,
yeah,
why don't they call me TK when they're gonna sell a house on my street? What
they
the
should
fuck?
know.
They
They
should
should know.
know. Why they keep calling
Consult.
morons?
Yeah.
God damn it! You're
I,
underselling.
the overpriced ones, they won't sell, and they help the ones who are serious because now all of a sudden you maybe need to sell for $1 million, and maybe that's a cheaper price than what you want to sell for.
I
Okay,
gotta go tie it up
but
again and make sure
but
they don't make
but
a
your neighbor's
mistake.
asking
TK.
1.5. Okay, your neighbor's asking 1.5. Okay, and so now when you go on the market, you go on at 1.1. And so now all of a sudden the buyers look around and say, well, that guy's asking 1.5. So let's negotiate here. 1,020,000. Maybe you get a little bit extra money for the property because your neighbors are listed overpriced. I wouldn't suggest you do that, but it's called a bounce property. It's, you overpricing and you helping your neighbors sell. So if you are serious about selling, I don't think it matters if you got a bunch of listings on your street that are overpriced. What matters more is, do you have a neighbor on your street that's eager to sell?
Eager to
If
sell.
that guy wants to sell and he's dropped his price to lowest, what I think
He doesn't give a fuck because he didn't pay for it, or he paid 80 grand for it
yeah,
70 years ago, or whatever the fuck.
the one mistake I'm seeing is the offer date strategy. So people list it as an offer date strategy. They list it way lower than what everybody else would say it's worth. So everyone comes in, but then of course nobody has an appetite for multiple offers right now, so they pay like close to ask. And then the seller's just like, it's an offer. I got to sell. I'm going to take it. Meanwhile, it was the wrong pricing strategy for this market.
Mm.
You shouldn't be pricing it like super aggressive. You should be pricing it so that you're the next one to sell. I got a condo going on the market today. We did photos, and the sales in the building are around 480, 490 for like really rundown ones. The sales were like 580 and above before the market, and now we got a bunch of listings up at 560, 580, 590. So I said, okay, we got to be the next one to sell. Ours is renovated. It's nice. They had it already on the market with another agent for a little while, two different agents. It wasn't selling. So I think we're going on at like 530. We'll see how where it lands when we list, but that's what you got to do. You got to be the next one down. So you've got enough of a discount to be able to, show buyers that you're the best value
What
in
do you
that
get for
property.
530 these days? What is this?
It's a fantastic neighborhood.
Yeah, beautiful
Fantastic,
neighborhood.
beautiful neighborhood. There's if you got to go to the mosque, if you got to go to the church, if you got to go to the convenience store, your
How
kids got to
about
go
the
to school.
synagogue,
There's lots
TK?
of there's
Any
no synagogues.
synagogues?
There's not a
Okay.
single Jewish person living in this in this
No
building
Jews. Got
of
it.
2,000 people living in one complex. It's at
Not one
Victoria
Jew.
Park and Danforth area, Crescent Town. I don't know if you know it.
I don't know it, but
Yeah,
it sounds
it's a
like
tough
I,
neighborhood. So
yeah,
it's like a 1,200 square foot 3 bedroom for 530.
1,200 square foot, 3 bedroom for
Hmm.
530.
For 530. Yeah.
Jesus
This was a
Christ,
special
that's a good
circumstance.
deal.
They needed some extra special
What
care,
the
these
fuck?
sellers. They said, TK, you go in there and tell them the truth, and I'm in there making sure that they get it sold.
Is this a
So
co-op? Is this
no, it's a condo.
a condo for
Yeah.
that little and that little
It's a
money and that?
it's a low end area, Daryl.
Wow. Why is that a thing? Okay. Well, so that's
What do
and
you mean?
there's
There's lots of condo buildings out there that are like, those type of areas where you get a lot of high, like new Canadians and,
yeah,
people who are going to be like renters for life and stuff like that. They'll gravitate to those places.
renters for life. That's a purchase, no?
Renters for life.
You just said renters for life, but
Yeah.
this is a
Those people who
purchase at
live there.
530. No?
Yeah. It's a sale. What I'm saying is
You're gonna
there's
rent
lots of
it out to
tenants
people?
living in those areas,
You're gonna
even though
buy
they're
that
condos.
and rent it? Is that the play there?
That's a good play. Yeah. For someone to go and buy it as a rental
What's the
property.
rent in this place?
2,500,
2,500, eh?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus, even that's fucking cheap as hell. So
Yeah.
this is a really scary place to live. Is this what I'm getting?
No, I think it's affordable and it's convenient and there's like little medical things there if you need
Yeah.
medical and stuff like that. But if you don't like to live in like a high dense area,
Yeah.
it's probably not the area for you.
Well, so but like I'm pretty sure Jews
I'm
like
trying
a
to
good
sell the
deal.
place, Daryl. Come
I'm
on.
sorry,
I'm
TK.
trying to sell the
I'm
place. It's a
just trying
great
to
place
figure
to
it out.
live.
Well, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not, but the fact that there's no
There's no
Jews
Jews. There's no
there,
Jews here. That's a
well, it just
sign.
makes me wonder why,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I
There's no
mean,
Jews.
Jews like to pay $2 a foot in rent, I'm sure. That's for damn sure. So like I would imagine some
They live at Bathurst and Finch.
they
Those
live
ones.
at Bathurst and Steeles, those.
Bathurst and Steeles. Yeah. Torresdale.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hmm. They all seem to live there. That is in fact actually true,
It's
TK.
if you don't have money and you're Jew and you're looking for a good place to rent, you're living on Bathurst North.
Yeah.
Bathurst North. Yeah.
Although I feel like lately there are a lot of Filipinos there as well, like a
The
lot.
nannies. Yeah.
There, well, it seems
We're,
like
we're
some of
way
them would
off
be
today.
nannies.
We're
Yeah,
way off today. That is
you
not
are
true. Not all Filipinos are nannies.
so like
That's
specific.
just the first thing that came out of my mind. I just said it out loud.
It's
It
true.
sounded, it sounded like that might have been what is going on in some
It
cases.
is true. So, we were out in Meaford this weekend, TK. You ever been to Meaford?
I think I have, but not like it's not like one of those memories that I'm holding on to.
Well, Meaford is like over 2 hours away from Toronto, and it's a beautiful little town. And the prices of waterfront real estate there is staggering considering how far it is. But like it's like $4 million
You saw
for
asking prices.
no, these are sold
You
prices.
saw some sold prices there?
There's
You
been
sure?
sold, yeah, it's a beautiful
This year?
spot. Maybe not this year. I
Oh,
don't know. But
this year
like
the waterfront market's getting beat up there.
I'm sure it's getting beat up, but I know personally, very, very near and dear, very close, a property that got sold off market 1 millisecond because in some of these places, certain pockets where Jews do go, they have people constantly knocking on the door saying, whenever you're ready, I want this thing, call me first. And so while you see the morons, right, that bought for like stupid fucking prices based on the Airbnb method or strategy, mind you, okay, they're all fucked because it didn't make any goddamn sense when they bought it, other than the fact that there was a frenzy of maniacs all doing it, right? And we thought it would last forever, but like the real prizes on the real beautiful pieces or lakes, those things, they don't even go on the market. They disappear in 2 seconds. Because those people don't
Well,
give a
the
fuck.
lake that I have some family has a cottage on up in Halliburton, everything's for sale.
Everything's for
Everything,
sale.
and this is a great lake. It's nice. It's not a high end lake, but it's a nice lake. It's a very popular lake. It's good water. Like it's in the area, like the best lake,
Yeah.
and everything's for sale. It's just like everybody needs to get out. Everybody's got even people who've been there for centuries, not centuries, for decades.
On the water?
Oh yeah,
Like the
all
good
waterfront. Nothing is not
ones?
waterfront. Yeah,
Oh, nothing is not waterfront? I don't know.
yeah.
I see a lot of the ones like on the main highways.
Those is a lot of
All,
signs. Yeah.
all the
We have a lot of agents working up north. So like I'm very familiar with the north markets and I'm seeing a lot of those transacted in July after having prices slashed in beginning of July. All of a
yeah.
sudden they were getting sold. Go figure. So there was an increase in activity, which is good. But I think it's also sellers coming to realization. That's another thing for the July market for everybody to understand too. Why did it have an extra amount of sales compared to the other few months? Is that's how long it took sellers to adjust their expectations.
And to mortgage rates.
No, the expectations, the mortgage rates and everything else is like
Part
why
of
they
it.
were maybe thinking about selling, but it's like they finally were just like, oh, I'm not going to get $1 million for my house, $2 million at one point, whatever. They're finally saying to themselves, I need to sell, and this is just okay. I got an offer. If you're a buyer right now, make offers.
Make
You
a
don't know,
ton of
like
offers.
the some of the deals that are getting done right now are
Lowball.
well below asking because the seller doesn't want to lower their price. They don't
Yeah.
want to. They have that mentality of if I lower my price, people will just knock me down even further and da 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 da. Da. But they will take a lower number if you just bring them the offer
Yeah.
and they try. Don't bring it on my listings. All right, I don't want that.
No.
All right.
No.
But other
Get
people's listings, if you're a
get
buyer, you should start trying low offers because there's a
for
lot of
sure.
sellers out there who are motivated and that they're just not publicly putting that price out there. But all of a sudden, you got the right terms in front of them. They're gonna say, you know what, I'll take it.
Yeah.
They'd be surprised. Just go in there, put an offer, and say it's my best and final. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I
Piss
got it.
off.
I'm leaving on a plane tomorrow, and I'll bring the deposit check in, and we're ready to go. Like and make it firm. You'll
Somebody
get a
made it.
deal.
Somebody made a post talking about this where it was like the buyer just did not listen to their realtor and lowballed anyways and got it. And so the point was is like
Yeah.
you don't have to listen to your realtor about the price. Like go in
Yeah.
with the price you want, tell your realtor to do it, or
Yeah.
find a realtor that's willing to do what you think is
Exactly.
best, like for
Yeah.
fuck's sakes, right?
Yeah.
Especially like God, a buyer, like won't agents bend over backwards for buyers right
If you're
now?
a good agent right now, if I got a buyer and he's like, I've got money, I'm ready to buy and I want to make lowball offers, I'm like, when do you want to go
Yeah.
out and look?
Yeah. Do you want to go for
Like,
breakfast, lunch, and
you know what
dinner
I mean?
every
Like
day for
right
the
now,
next week?
you're a real buyer, you have money, you have your approval, and you actually need to buy a house right now. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
I mean, sellers, every week I'm turning down sellers. Like it's
So, but
just like,
hold on a sec.
what do you
How,
mean you want to list at 33% higher than market?
how often does that person that is ready to buy, approved, has the money to buy,
Yeah.
actually have their like they're in line with reality? Like their
But
expectations
what's
are.
reality, Daryl? What's reality?
It
Like,
sounds just like.
but it's a falling market. So reality today is different from the reality last week, and will be different from the reality next
Okay,
week.
so here, let me clarify. What reality, like current reality, like if they're
Yeah.
in the mode to buy, or how many of those people are actually in alignment with the market versus how many people are way fucking way off?
I would say that anybody out right now shopping with a realtor who's got the money and the ability to buy is a serious buyer.
What was my question? I feel like that was not an answer to the question.
I'm
Of course,
saying
they're a
that they
serious
are a
buyer,
serious buyer. And so, like,
but how many
eventually
of the
they'll
people
find
you.
something that ticks all the boxes for them, Daryl. But what you're trying to say to me is actually more of a topic for an up market, which is what do you need to do to get the next house? Well, you need to pay more than everybody else. Is that a serious buyer? Yes. Okay, that's when somebody would be in line. But right now, a buyer, because they've got the upper hand, their actual like mindset should be is like, are they committed to doing what it takes for as long as it takes in order to be able to buy a house that's good for them, okay, at the best possible price? And that would be a serious buyer. Whatever the
Well,
market is will be depending on which property they buy because every house is going to be sold at a different price. I got one right now in Thornhill that's like way less than everybody else in the whole neighborhood. I can't figure it out. I'm like, why is nobody buying this house? You look it up and it's just like the cheapest deal around. And, it's just, we just got it cleaned up this weekend. We got new photos done. The house is empty now. Like, we're going to get it sold. But it doesn't make sense that someone wasn't like willing to jump on this and pick it up for like a steal of a deal. So some things just don't make sense. You've got to have, um, um, that perspective that, we don't know what prices someone's going to expect. Who's really good? Santo. When you go and watch Santo's channel and you look at his data, because he's doing it so specific, you can see how scattered. There's a trend going up, but let's say the trend is here, and right now it's here. So it's obviously heading in that direction. But there's going to be a guy who pays here at this point because of the scatteredness of the statistics. And so
yeah.
you can buy a deal at, 5% below market right now, but by the time you move in, it's at market. You can also pay market price today. By the time you move in, it's 5% below market. Like those are the realities of a falling market is you can't predict where the price is going to go to. And so, keep making those offers. That's the main thing. Just make those offers. Be like, this is what I'm comfortable at. If you're willing to sell, great. If you're
So
too far below, you may not get too many responses, but eventually somebody's going to say, "Look, I'm a seller. I need to sell. What will you do? What's your best price?"
so didn't prices come off like 5.5% or something like that?
Year over year and month over month.
Right. So if we go back to peak TK
Hmm.
and like we just month over month dropped 5.5%, like what
Yeah,
are we
both.
minus 60 from peak now? Like what the fuck? How
No,
big a crash is this thing? I thought we were
it's going.
steady. I thought we were going to be steady for the
Going.
next,
Price was 1.334 million,
yeah.
February 2022, and right now, July 2025, it's 1,050,000. So that's throughout the whole GTA.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's painful. That's
that
a
sounds like
nice
20,
chunky. That's 30% or something. No, 28%,
20 some
29.
percent. So bottom line is, they've come down. That's the
We
GTA. The
that
Toronto's smaller than than
who?
than
Oh,
um
right.
the rest of,
Toronto's
because you're
oh,
gonna have some places that are like way off, like 30-40% they're down.
right. So, but
Yeah.
GTA being down that much, this is not a crash yet. Is this not the crash? Are we not skimming the bottom? Bling, 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 bling.
But when are we not in line with we're not in line with incomes. We're not in line with people can afford.
Who
Like
gives a
how
shit?
the
Make more
but
money.
I
No,
know, but this is the problem is like you need to be at least at a point where people can look around and say, "Yeah, I can afford to buy a home. My kids can afford to buy a home." Otherwise, people will continue to leave
you
and
have
immigrants
to.
will continue to stay and they won't or to go after they come and then they won't decide to come here eventually. They'll go back home and say, "Don't go to Canada. It's too expensive."
No,
That's the
this is
reputation we're going to have.
this is why we're colonizing Mars, TK. Because I mean, you can
Well, when
get
that happens, I'm
cheap
looking to
land.
go, but that's probably a publicity stunt, like we've talked about.
Another
You know,
publicity stunt. I
it's a
wish I could
publicity stunt.
see the time on my screen. I can't see that far without my glasses.
Yeah,
TK.
yeah.
I,
We got about 5 minutes left.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So, before
Want
our
to talk about some under
call,
the table stuff? What's going on?
so
I won't
before the
talk about it.
call, I was so pissed off. Okay. I was like getting all fucking heated because I'm on the phone with our buddy Greg, the planner, and our
Mm-hmm.
buddy Ben, the architect.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I get this email saying, like, we got to deal with this loading space and the bike. Anyways, to deal with the loading spaces, we got these bicycle parking spots. Okay, there's these 12.
Should be an oxymoron.
Okay,
Bicycle parking spots.
bar,
Like, come on.
bicycle parking exterior. Okay, TK.
Yeah,
The target
like racks.
market.
Whatever happened to racks?
Well, those have to be inside. There's another 60 fucking bike spots or whatever, 40 more inside. But
Yeah.
TK, the point is, if we use our brains a little tiny bit, okay, just a little tiny bit, and we go, okay, the demographic that we're going for here is 60 plus years old, okay?
Yeah.
And they likely, they have a Bentley or a Lambo or the point is that even if TK, let's say this is a super fit, wealthy billionaire that's 65 years old, okay? And he
Mm-hmm.
actually does have a fucking bike. Do you think he's leaving it outside the building chained up to the bicycle parking thing that we put there. Like, come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, who the fuck needs this shit in the bridle path in a luxury building for 60 plus year olds, for fuck's sakes, right? This is the level of stuff that I have to deal with on a regular basis. It's not fair. It's just stupid.
Just do what other people do is you build it, you satisfy the city, and then you change it
Rip it out.
afterwards into what people actually want.
Right. But it's like first you got to build a bunch of stuff that,
Yeah.
affects other stuff. And
Yeah.
then to undo it, it's like now, oh God, like just
Yeah.
fucking
Turn it into
please.
just like a dog washing station outside.
It's
You
just
know what I
dumb.
mean? You
Yeah.
can turn like a little gelato bar or something like that, you know?
But like, why can't somebody just look at everything? Like from the governmental lens, if that's English, but from the
Probably
government's
not.
point of view,
Yeah.
why can't somebody there just be like, okay, I'm gonna apply logic to this. Let's see what happens.
Mm,
Even like put it in chat GPT and say, just apply some logic to this scenario and let me know what you think we should do.
mm,
I don't think we're getting crazy answers that no one's thought of before. I don't even think we're getting anything new, quite honestly. I think it's
yeah.
like pretty straightforward that everybody is lazy and incentivized to stay lazy,
Yeah.
TK. And this is the big problem because there's no, and it's funny. I was having a conversation with an AI bot this morning, funny
Okay.
enough, TK,
Sounds like a normal thing to do.
normal thing to do.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it. And it's like, even if you wanted to do things differently, you couldn't because the incentives are not there financially, even to invest in something that could help out, for God's sakes. Like, who's investing in technologies that make building in Canada, faster and cheaper and better right now? Other than
Nobody.
Brookfield and the prime minister, but that's
That's not even
neither
a
here
real
nor
thing.
there.
That's not even a real thing.
What do you mean, not a real thing?
Well, because we've already got modular homes. We've already got the ability to be able to have modular home. There's no market for it.
Right.
Like, who's lining up for modular homes? Nobody.
Why?
Sears used to ship houses over on the ships to come here when we built all the Victorian area stuff and some of the pre-war stuff.
Yeah.
And, people were buying at that point because that's what, made sense when you were building a house. The labor,
Why are we telling people though? Like, why? No, I've never seen a building say, "Oh God, here at 10 Charles Street, we're building a concrete building with rebar reinforced, whatever the fuck, with
okay.
brick panels and blah 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 blah." No, we just did. This is for sale, guys. Why does modular have to be like marketed as modular shit? Right? It's just like, okay, there's something there now. Oh wow,
No,
that
because that's
happened
how
fast.
that's how people build
No.
pick the builder is if they're picking on based on the quality of construction. And so as
What
soon
if
as you
you
mention the word modular, people start picturing in their head a little trailer with no basement
But
on
hold
cinder
on.
blocks.
But hold on a sec, because Brookfield here, close
Yeah.
your eyes for a second, because
Okay.
this sounds like I think something you'd want to buy. But Brookfield bought a company called Ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is,
Okay. Can I open my eyes?
I guess you can, yeah,
Okay.
technically, but it doesn't have the same effect.
Okay.
Clearly,
Go, go,
okay?
go. Just take it
Ready,
quick.
ready.
I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Modular. Wow, right, modular. Now it takes
Yeah.
on a whole other
But really,
life.
it could be pronounced as modular.
No, because it's Laire, and if you
Well, it's
know
just a
anything,
pronunciation thing, depending on what part of Quebec you're in,
well,
modular.
you'd be wrong because it'd be like modulaire, or in English it'd be
Listen, nobody's buying
modulare,
on scale modular homes. It's just not going to happen.
modulare,
No.
maybe
The
in
only thing that we
Italian.
can do is that we can take a familiar building process. We can't even get people to change the type of heating systems they want. We can't get people
No,
to change the type of plumbing systems they want. Like people are just so
no,
stuck in what they're used to that
yeah,
they don't want to actually, make a change because one, they feel uncomfortable. Two, they're not willing to put their money into it. And
yeah.
three, you can't sell it afterwards. And so
Can't
bottom
sell it.
line is you're stuck with what we've got. And so unless we can find an automated way to build homes very similar to the way that we build them right now, nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. And
No,
that was actually a big part of the conversation with the AI bot this morning that I had,
yeah,
TK, because
you're welcome. I saved you like hours of time by just telling you on the show.
Well, you told me what I already talked about. So thank you
Yeah,
for
you're welcome.
reiterating the brilliance of the bot
Uh,
conversation.
you're
But
welcome.
it's true. Like we do have the components available to make a fairly efficient building process. But uh, again, it's like the coordination and the amount of cash that's necessary to put it all together in like one coherent system
Yeah.
is staggering, and the amount of government blockages you'll deal with in order to get this thing off the ground, it's like, why? What the fuck
People when they
for?
build homes right now is they all feel they want to be special, so they all got to have a home that's different from the other guy. And modular and the old Victorian style homes and all these other systems does not provide them that. It's going to be a bunch of the exact same houses, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you went with the stone finish. Oh, you went with the stucco. Oh, you went with the," and everyone's going to have the same stuff, and they're not going to like it, and they're not going to want to pay for it. And all the snobs are all going to say, "Well, no, I had mine custom built by Darryl, Frankfort,
Modulaire,
who had
modulaire.
he built these houses, da 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 da," and then that just jacks up prices again. The way it goes. That's not the answer. That's
What's
not the
the
answer.
answer?
The
That
answer
did
is finding efficiency on labor. Okay, finding an efficiency on
robots.
labor. So whether it
Robots.
be automated, whether it be 3D printing, whether it be combining some of the modular style of building, like they do for trusses and stuff like that, for
But nothing.
walls and things like that. But it's very very minimal
Yeah,
impact.
walls is like
ICF,
framers inside a building. It's like a
yeah.
bunch of Mexicans inside the building.
There's things like that, but it's minimal. You're talking about like 10-15% of efficiencies on cost for
Nothing.
construction. The market always is more powerful than anything else. The market will drive down labor prices. The market will drive down material costs. The market will drive down land costs. The market hopefully will influence the government to remove bureaucracy, and so that we're going to have less taxes on builds. And then we're going to have a very stagnant market for a very long time because we just can't build them any cheaper, much cheaper than what we're already building them, even with 30% of taxes coming off and everything else that we do. It's still overpriced, the cost of construction, and there's no market or margins for the builders. Wages will come up and inflation will take care of some of it else. And 10 years from now, we'll all look back and say, okay, the last 10 years was really slow and sticky and no one really built a lot of stuff. Immigration numbers will be reflected of that. And we'll just sort of be slowly starting to recover, which sounds like that's what happened in the 90s. It
That's
took
kind
through the
of
whole 90s before they came back out
it
in
has to.
the 2000s, where people got excited again. And we kind of looked around and said, okay, we can start buying and building again because the margins are there for people. But
Yeah.
we're in
I
a
was
lost we're in a tough decade.
I think that's exactly. I started writing an article about that this morning that I'll put out next week. But I think it's exactly that is what's going to happen. But I mean, I'm always wrong, so it
Yeah,
probably
me
won't be
too.
this. But like,
Yeah,
I think we have because we talked about it. You have so many pressures, homeowners that are politicians that own real estate that don't want it to come down, and this pool of people that don't want it to go down is gigantic and outweighs the other
yeah,
group considerably, right? So
yeah,
the only way out of the mess is for somehow the values to stagnate for a while as wages start to kind of creep up over time, which is like,
yeah.
yeah, this is the lost
Go down a little
decade.
bit more, stagnate a little bit more. We got to end the show. The last thing I want to say was Polly Evers' reasoning for why he
Who?
lost. Polly Evers'
Who?
reasoning for why he lost that riding
That guy
is
a
because you got a
guy?
lot of government public servants in that riding,
Oh
and so
my
basically they
God.
were all like, "Geez, if this guy wins, we're going to lose our jobs," and
Right.
all of a sudden that
What a
became the pitch.
Oh, hold
But
on a sec. So the guy that gave up his seat for Pierre, that Pierre lost the riding? Is this what happened?
no, but this is the Ottawa
Oh,
riding that he had before.
oh God. Who's
Yeah.
talking about this dimwit still? Is he really relevant still?
I'm just saying that pressure from the public servants,
Cervix? What
and
does that mean?
the public servants who
The
have that much
public
control over what
cervix.
happens. Hey, we all come from the public
Hey,
cervix,
that's
right? Maybe
that's
that's eventually where the society leads. Is we're all just born from like one mother,
you're not gonna
the
have a
AI
job.
mother.
You're gonna be
Yeah,
the public
the
cervix.
public cervix. When did you get out? I
The
was number
public
4,733 on July 2nd. What about you?
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
public cervix announcement.
You never know. But listen, if
Sorry.
you guys are still listening and you want to like, comment, and subscribe, we really appreciate it because
Yes.
there's lots of people who need to hear this
Wow.
travesty of a podcast. And if you want to
Absolutely.
book a call with me, we got a details in below in the Calendly. And Darryl, he's got a great system that I'm using lately to pump out all my data for listings and shares and making sure everybody knows, called Shrubs. You'll see the ad throughout the show, but check it out. I'm using it. It's a great platform.
Check it out.
This shit is taking 5 years.